I snuck it. Shot? I got a kid named John. Maybe a little girl. Huh? He's coming over my mom. I couldn't have the other name. Schulz to John. Then we'd have trouble.
Yeah, that would be John.
to the plate. He's knocked in 19 runs, 1 homer, 1 triple, and 6 doubles. So Jason Owen, the left-hander, about 6 feet tall, 170, 175, will go to work on the mound. His battery mate behind the plate is Wade Smith. Brad Raaum, left-handed batter, stands in. Jason Owen leans in for the sign. The first pitch of the ball game. Fastball leaned him back, ball 1. Brad Raaum steps out. Howard Tighe calling the balls and strikes. Wade Smith hangs out the sign for Jason Owen. The left-hander kicks and delivers. Breaking pitch missed inside. It's 2-0. Last night, Minot jumped off to an early 3-0 lead on a 3-run homer by Randy Ziegler. But then solo home runs, a pair by Mike Reinhiller, and a 1 by Jason Owen tied the ball game. And then the Keybirds squeezed home the winning run in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out. Owen swings into the windup. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball missed high. 3-0. Owen quickly behind the leadoff batter, Brad Raaum. 3 balls, no strikes. Dave Wolf coaching at third. Wayne Horner over at first. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball in the inside corner, strike called. Wayne Horner, Dan, as you were visiting with him, paid quite a compliment to Williston.
Wayne Horner, who's been involved as a player and a coach in several state tournaments, said he felt this is the best run tournament he's been involved in.
Next pitch is a fastball up the letters called strike. So the string is out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Brad Raaum. Owen leans for the sign. The payoff pitch on the way. Brushed him back inside, and Raaum gets the leadoff walk. Leadoff batter aboard for the Governors, and that brings up the pitcher, Troy Olson. Olson batting .400 in the tournament. He's knocked in a run. He has 2 for 7. That's closer to a .286 batting average. Not .400. .286 batting average for Troy Olson. There's Owens' move to first. Brad Raaum is back in. Mark Kitzenberg at first tonight. Rod Bold at second. Thompson at third. Adolph at short. Tone, Reinhiller, and Eno in the outfield left to right. Owen from the belt, and the pitch on the way to Troy Olson. The fastball skips low, gets away from Smith, and going down to second base is Brad Raaum on the fastball. Pitch was a little bit low, but Wade Smith did not handle it, so the Bismarck Governors have their potential first run now in scoring position. Outfield playing Troy Olson as a full hitter. The pitch on the way, a breaking pitch missed outside. Count goes 2-0 to Troy Olson. Jason Owen fell behind the leadoff hitter, Brad Raaum, 3-0 before walking him. It's now 2-0 to Olson. Left-handed batter. Here's the pitch on the way. A fastball missed inside. 3-0 to Troy Olson. Chip Devlin and Scott Cody, the 2 coaches for the Keybirds, up on the edge of the dugout. The hook will be quick tonight. Here's the pitch on the way. A fastball bounces low. Ball 4. Gets away from Smith. Going to third. Taking advantage is Brad Raaum. So leadoff walk served up by Jason Owen. And a couple of fast balls has allowed Brad Raaum to scamper to third base. The runners at the corners now for the Bismarck Governors, and it brings up the dangerous Mark Hummel. Chip Devlin is going to go out and have a talk to Jason Owen. Mark Hummel in the tournament batting .286, 2 for 7. He's knocked in a couple of runs. He has 2 doubles. For the season, Mark Hummel batting .466. He has 11 home runs, 11 doubles, and a couple of triples. He's knocked in 57, 69 hits, and 148 trips to the plate. And let's see, we're going to have a pitching change. Jason Owen will go to first base, and Mike Reinhiller will come on to pitch, and Mark Kitzenberg will go out to left. Chris Stone will go to right. Clay Eno will go to center. So Jason Owen faces 2 batters, walks them both, and a pitching change already for the Williston Keybirds. So a break in the action with the pitching change. There's nobody out, 2 runners aboard, top of the first for the Bismarck Governors. Let's pause for 60 seconds.
Let's face it.
Of Jason Owen. Owen goes to first. And in the outfield now, Mark Kitzenberg in left, Clay Eno in center, Chris Stone in right. Mike Reinhiller on the mound now in relief for Williston.
First, Jason Owen faces 2 men, 2 walks, 2 runners on base, his responsibility. For Mike Reinhiller, this is his 18th appearance in 17 previous outings. Reinhiller's won 4 and lost 8. Pitched 56 in the 3rd inning, 70 hits, 57 runs, 48 earned. ERA of 5.96. Reinhiller's walked 37, struck out 42, 7 wild pitches. He's hit a man and also has 1 save.
Mark Hummel comes to the plate. Mark Hummel has 11 home runs this year. 3 of those home runs have been hit against the Williston Keybirds. So Mike Reinhiller, the right-hander, 5'8", about 165, ready to go to work. Reinhiller will pitch from the stretch with runners at the corners. Reinhiller's pitch to Mark Hummel bounces in front of the plate. Wade Smith keeps it in front of him. Ball 1 the count to Mark Hummel. You don't want to give Mark Hummel anything too good because he'll take you downtown right now. Mark Hummel, left-handed batting third baseman. In the tournament, Hummel batting .286. He's knocked in a couple of runs, 2 for 7 at the plate. Reinhiller from the belt. Reinhiller very deliberate on the mound. Reinhiller looks over at first. The pitch to Hummel, a fastball missed inside. Count is 2-0 to Mark Hummel. Jason Owen faced 2 batters, walked them both. Raaum and Troy Olson. Jason Owen is now the first baseman. Edging off first Olson. Off third is Brad Raaum. Reinhiller from the belt. The pitch to Hummel. Fastball brushed him back inside. 3-0. So the first 3 batters to the plate have run the count to 3-0 against Williston pitching. Reinhiller toes the rubber. He's ready to go to work again. Reinhiller from the belt looks at first, and the 3-0 pitch to Hummel, a fastball missed upstairs. Ball 4. A free pass to Mark Hummel loads him up. Down to second base is Troy Olson, and that brings up the cleanup hitter, Tom Klein. Klein, right-handed batting, right fielder. Klein batting 0 in the tournament. He is 0 for 4. He's walked once for the season. Klein is a .312 hitter, 24 runs batted in, a homer, and 3 doubles. Reinhiller will pitch from the windup now. The base is loaded and nobody out. Here's the pitch to Klein. Fastball missed low and away. Ball 1. Klein straightaway stands deep in the batter's box. Steps out, looks down at Dave Wolf coaching at third. The runners get their leads. Jason Owen playing in at first. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Reinhiller was a hero of sorts last night, along with Adolph and Jason Owen. Reinhiller had 2 solo home runs in the ball game. Both over the right field wall. Reinhiller leans for the sign, looks at Raaum at third. Here's the 1-1 to Klein. Fastball missed away, 2-1. Williston corners playing in on the infield. Shortstop, second base. Adolph Rodvold back at double play depth. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Reinhiller. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tom Klein. Reinhiller would like to get 1 of 2 things here. Well, maybe 3. An infield pop-up, a double play ball, or a strikeout. That'd give him a little bit of breathing room. Reinhiller leans for the sign from Smith. Reinhiller shakes it off. Okay's the second sign. The right-hander into the windup. The 2-2 is on the way. Swung on a hopper on the infield. Adolph up with it. Goes to Rodvold for 1. The relay to first is not in time. A run scores. So Hummel is forced out at second on the 6-4 force out. Klein safe on the fielder's choice. There's 1 down. Give Klein an RBI. Coming in to score is Brad Raaum from third base. Troy Olson moves to third. Runners at the corners now for the Bismarck Governors. It's 1-0 with 1 out. That brings up Mike Sullivan. He won the home run hitting contest earlier today. Sullivan has 1 home run in the tournament, batting .556. He's knocked in 5. He is 5 for 9. Reinhiller pitching from the stretch now with runners at the corners. Sullivan for the season batting .351. Here's the pitch to Sullivan. A fastball misses low and away. Ball 1. Mike Sullivan with a .351 batting average. He has 4 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Sullivan, right-handed hitting first baseman for the Bismarck Governors. He does have power. Reinhiller from the belt looks over at first. The pitch to Sullivan, swung on a high drive center field. Back going Klein, still going back, still on the run. He makes the running catch in the deepest part of the ballpark. Coming in is Troy Olson. And staying at first base is Tom Klein. So Sullivan with an RBI as he flies out to Klein in center for the second out. Coming in from third is Troy Olson. That will close the book on Jason Owen.
Jason Owen not credited with any outs. He faced two batters, walked them both, so he's charged with 2 runs, and both of them are earned.
There are 2 down. Runner at first now for the Bismarck Governors. 2 runs in. It's 2-0. Bismarck leading Williston, top of the first. Brings up Jeff Schulz. The pitch to Schulz. Fastball skips away from Wade Smith. It looked like it hit his shin pad and bounced back towards the screen. So going down to second base is Tom Klein. So the Governors with their potential 3rd run down at second base. 1-0 the count to Jeff Schulz. Ryan Hiller from the belt. The pitch swung on. Lofted foul out of play right side. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeff Schulz. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeff Schulz. Ryan Hiller from the belt. Looks back at second. They pitch on the way to Schulz. Misses low and away. Ball 2. 2 on the count. 2 runs in for the Governors here. Governors do not have a hit. They were given 3 walks. Ryan Hiller from the belt. Looks back at Klein at second. Here's the pitch to Schulz. Fastball swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schulz steps out. Now he steps back in. Scott Woodmansey is going to go down and start loosening up a little bit in the bullpen just in case. Here's the pitch on the way. Missed inside, so the string is out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Schulz. Governors have popped the Keybirds for 2 in the top of the first inning. Jason Owen, the starting pitcher, walked the first 2 batters, relieved by Ryan Hiller. Here's the payoff pitch to Schulz. Fastball, lofted foul out of play. Back behind the stands. So the count holds at 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jeff Schulz. Schulz batting .286 in the tournament. He is 2 for 7. He's knocked in 3 runs. For the season, Jeff Schulz batting .311. That includes previous tournament appearances at the plate. Here's the payoff pitch on the way. A fastball missed outside, ball 4. Jeff Schulz draws the free pass. Runners at first and second. That's the second walk given up by Ryan Hiller, the 4th by Williston pitching in the first inning. Ryan Hiller takes a walk around the mound. A wise man in baseball once said, those walks, they'll kill you. Tom Horner stands in, the Bismarck shortstop, batting .286 in the tournament, 2 for 7. Here's the pitch to Horner. Fastball tails away outside, ball 1. Tom Horner for the season, a .321 batter. 22 runs batted in. He has 8 doubles and 2 triples. Ryan Hiller's pitch on the way. Look out. Brushed him back inside. 2-0 the count to Tom Horner. So Ryan Hiller came on, got a couple of fly balls. 1 fly ball and a fielder's choice, got 2 outs. And then he walked Jeff Schulz. Now it's 2-0 the count to Tom Horner. Outfield playing Horner straight away. Ryan Hiller from the belt looks at second. The 2-0 pitch swung on, a fly ball right field. Grace Thone is there. He has it measured and makes the catch. So Horner is gone as he flies out to Thone and right. That retires the Governors in the top of the first inning, but the Governors come up with 2 runs on no hits, and there were no Williston errors. The Governors leave a pair. 1/2 inning. Bismarck 2, Williston coming to bat. And for Williston, it'll be Mike Ryan Hiller, Tim Adolph, Jason Owen to face Troy Olson. Olson has a record this year of 3 wins against 2 losses. Olson, a right-hander for the Bismarck Governors. Mike Ryan Hiller will lead it off. In tournament play, Mike Ryan Hiller batting .625, 5 hits and 8 trips. He has a couple of runs batted in and 2 home runs. They were line shots last night in the win over Minot. For the season, Mike Ryan Hiller batting .352. As Dan said last night, Ryan Hiller, one of those 3 or 4 batters for Williston whose bats have really come alive here in the last couple of 3 weeks of the season. Reinhiller, 3 homers, 4 triples, 10 doubles. First pitch to him, a fastball up the knees, called strike. Reinhiller, a left-handed batter with the drastically wide open stance, but he closes as he strides into the pitch. Reinhiller steps out, takes a practice cut. Now stands back in. Reinhiller stands deep and far away from the plate. Here's the pitch, breaking pitch, low, ball 1, count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield playing Reinhiller is a pull hitter around towards right. Center fielder Brad Raaum shaded way over towards right field. A big gap in left center, and Reinhiller will go that way occasionally. Olson into the windup, the pitch, a fastball, misses low and inside, 2-1 the count to Mike Reinhiller. Tim Adolph on deck to be followed by Jason Owen. Top 3 hitters in the Williston order since they've been moved up into that 1-2-3 position. They've really been swinging good bats. Here's the next pitch inside, low, ball 3. Tim Adolph started coming out of his slump. He was mired for a while, but he started coming out last weekend in the Western Division tournament at Mandan. Reinhiller stands in, the 3-1 from Olson. Swung on a hopper on the right side. Gloved by Schulz, flips it on to Sullivan at the bag, and they nail Mike Reinhiller for 3 on the put-out. So Reinhiller went after a 3-1 pitch and grounds out to the second baseman, Jeff Schulz. There's 1 down. That brings up Tim Adolph. Adolph batting .500 in the tournament, 4 for 8, including a double. For the season, Tim Adolph, a .300 batter. And Adolph has 3 triples, 7 doubles, 28 runs batted in. Leads the team in stolen bases with 25. The pitch to Adolph, fastball high, ball 1. Jason Owen waits on deck. Adolph steps out, takes a look down at Chip Devlin, steps back in. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. A fastball misses low, 2-1. Troy Olson, the usual left fielder for the Bismarck Governors, but got the starting nod here tonight. A week ago tonight, Scott Woodmansee defeated the Keybirds 18-4. The pitch to Adolph is inside, ball 3. Woodmansee went down to the bullpen, heated up for a little bit. He's back in the dugout now. Troy Olson's 3-0 pitch to Tim Adolph on the way, missed inside, ball 4. Adolph draws the pass on 4 straight, and this brings up Jason Owen. Owen batting .444 in the tournament, a home run, 3 runs batted in. For the season, Jason Owen, a .357 hitter, 36 RBIs, 8 home runs, and 6 doubles. If I'm not mistaken, Dan, didn't you figure out he's tied for the season lead in home runs now?
Right, tied Wade Pravansky with 8 in one season.
First pitch to Jason Owen. Strike called on the outside corner. And Tim Adolph, a threat to steal. He had 25 during the season. And he does his housekeeping out there around the area where he stretches his lead to. Get some of the loose dirt out of there so he can get better footing. Adolph takes a big lead. He edges off. Olson from the belt. The pitch to Jason Owen. He had a rip and miss, strike 2. Jason Owen stands in again. 0-2 the count. Adolph edges off first. Sullivan holding with him. Here's the 0-2 pitch outside. They wasted one. Sullivan sat down right behind on the outside corner of the plate. Stuck the mid on the outside corner, and Olson hit it, but it was outside. Ball 1. Ballslogger, the catcher, swung on a high drive left field. It is deep, but not deep enough. Back at the track is Keene. He's there and makes the catch. So Jason Owen gives it a ride to the track and left, but nothing but a long fly ball. Jason Owen is gone. There are 2 down. Tim Adolph at first, and that brings up Wade Smith. Jeff Wolfslager behind the plate for the Governors. Mike Sullivan at first, Schulz at second, 5. And the fielder's choice by Tom Klein drove in the run. Sullivan and Klein with the RBIs. So Brad Keene stands in. The first pitch to him, low bridge. Down he goes, ball 1. Brad Keene for the Governors has no batting average. He is 0 for 1. He walked once. Here's the second pitch on the way. Fastball, check swing out towards first. Gobbled up by Owen. He shovels it off to Reinhiller, who touches the bag. Nope, he stepped over the bag. Reinhiller was covering, but he stepped over the bag, and he knew it immediately. And so Brad Keene is safe. Error charged to the pitcher, Mike Reinhiller. The throw was there. Nothing wrong with that. Reinhiller just overran the bag. So that brings up Jeff Wolfslager. Wolfslager for the Governors in the tournament. He has no batting average. He's walked a couple of times. Wolfslager this year, .238 batter, knocked in 11 runs, 4 doubles, 19 hits, and 80 trips to the plate. He and Andy Johns have been sharing the catching duties. There's a throw to first. Brad Keene back in. Ryan Hiller on the mound. Leadoff batter aboard. An error charge to Ryan Hiller. That's the first error of the ball game. Ryan Hiller from the belt looks at first. Here's the pitch to Wolfslager. Squares to bunt. Pitches high. Gets away. Bounces off the glove of Wade Smith. Heading to second. Making a big turn there is Brad Keene. So Keene down to second on the pass ball. Charge to Wade Smith. Had it on the glove. Just didn't hang on to it. That is the 4th pass ball of the game. Here's Ryan Hiller's pitch on the way again upstairs. And the count goes 2-0 to Jeff Wolfslager. Down at second base, Brad Keene. Ryan Hiller okays the sign from Wade Smith. And the pitch on the way, a pass ball misses high, 3-0. Ryan Hiller, to me, appears to be trying to overthrow the ball and has missed high consistently. Mike Reinhiller, right-hander, toes the rubber. Waits in for the sign from Smith. Reinhiller's 3-0 pitch on the way. A fastball strike up the letters. So even there, he got a pitch in the strike zone, but it was in the high strike zone. Wade Smith hangs out the sign. Wolfslager steps back in. Reinhiller from the belt. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball swung on a line shot off the glove of Troy Rodbold at second base. Into center field. It was right at Rodbold, and he just muffed it. It just ricocheted off his glove into center field. So Wolfslager is aboard. An error charge to Troy Rodbold, and going to third base on the play is Brad Keene. So back-to-back errors have allowed the first 2 runners to reach for the Governors, and this brings up Brad Raaum. Raaum walked and scored a run his first time up. Keybird's not playing sharp defense tonight. 4 passed balls, a couple of errors. And 4 walks have certainly not helped the cause. Ryan Hiller's pitch to Raaum. Pass ball on the outside corner, strike called. Troy Olson waits on deck. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. We're in the top of the second inning. 2-0 Governors. Edging off third is Keene. The pitch to Brad Raaum way inside, and he dances out of the way. Ball 2 the count to Brad Raaum. Mike Reinhiller is on in relief of Jason Owen. Wade Smith hangs out the sign to Reinhiller. Raaum stands in. Here's the pitch to the left-hander. Swung on a grounder out towards second. Rodbold dives at it, flips it on Adolph. Not in time. Everybody's safe and a run scores. Rodbold made the diving stop, but he was laying flat and he couldn't get the ball out of the mitt. Everybody is safe. Coming in from third base is Brad Keene. That'll be an infield hit for Brad Raaum. Give him an RBI. And moving to second base is Jeff Wolfslager. So Brad Raaum plates the 3rd run for the Governors. It's 3-0. Chip Devlin out. He's going to have a talk with the infield, trying to get the ball players to wake up a little bit here because they have not been giving their pitchers much support, as it turns out. Even though Rodbold made the diving stop, he fell flat on his stomach. He couldn't dig the ball out of the glove, and they give him an infield hit. Brad Raaum, that is. And so it brings up Troy Olson. Olson walked and scored his first time up. Runners at first and second now for the Governors. Troy Olson, left-handed batter, stands in at .286. Batting average in the tournament. The pitch on the way, swung on a grounder to Rodbold. He boots it again, picks it up, throws it to first. They got the runner there. Everybody else is safe. So Troy Olson is thrown out 4-3. Advancing to second is Brad Raaum. Over to third is Jeff Wolfslager. There's one down. Even though you cannot anticipate a double play, that was almost a tailor-made double play ball. Hit pretty good right at Rodbold, but he couldn't field it cleanly. They get the batter, Troy Olson. Raaum goes to second, Wolfslager to third, and it brings up the dangerous Mark Hummel. Here's the pitch to Hummel. A fastball misses high and away. Ball 1. Hummel in tournament play, batting .286. That's dropped a bit. He is now 2 for 8, so it's .250 a batting average for Hummel in the tournament. For the season, a 466 average. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses low and away. 2-0 the count. Mark Hummel this year, 11 home runs, 57 runs batted in. And now they're going to give him the intentional pass so they can pitch to Tom Klein. Ryan Hiller from the belt, pitches from the stretch. Oh, that pitch came close. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Hiller almost threw one in the strike zone. Hummel looked it over pretty good. It's 3-0. There's the pitch outside, and it's 4-0. Mark Hummel draws the intentional pass. That is the third walk given up by Ryan Hiller, and the fifth overall by Williston pitching. So they're going to pitch to Tom Klein with the bases loaded. Klein has no batting average in the tournament. He is 0 for 5. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball fouled back into the screen. Klein for the season, 312, 1 home run, 24 runs batted in. That home run came a week ago tonight at Mandan in the Western Division Final. Strike one the count to Tom Klein. Hit into a fielder's choice, his first time up. 3-0 Governors. The pitch low and away on the fastball. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the second inning, the Governors have taken a 3-0 lead. 2 in the first, 1 here in the second. 1 run scored and a couple of errors, a base hit, a pass ball. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on. It's a high drive to left field. It could be. It might be. Back goes Kitzenberg. It's out of here. A grand slam home run for Tom Klein. His second of the year. His first of the tournament. Tom Klein now with 28 runs batted in. So Tom Klein takes Mike Reinhiller downtown and cleans the bases. A grand slam home run for Tom Klein. And like that, the Governors have taken a 7-0 lead over the Williston Keybirds. Scoring in front of Klein is Brad Raaum. Also coming in to score is Mark Hummel. They walked him intentionally to get to Klein, and it backfired as Klein sends one over the wall 315 feet away. 7-0 Governors. There's 1 out, and it brings up Mike Sullivan. So a couple of errors, a pass ball, a base hit, an intentional walk to get to Klein, and he unloads. Tom Klein's first home run of this tournament, and his first 4 runs batted in. Not only that, his first hit of the tournament. All those runs, by the way, unearned because of the 2 errors starting the inning. So that brings up Mike Sullivan. On the way, a breaking pitch on the outside corner, strike called. It's 0-2 to Mike Sullivan. Jeff Schulz waiting on deck. Ryan Hiller leans in for the sign. The right-hander into the windup. He kicks and throws a fastball. He struck him out. Sullivan goes down swinging. That is the first strikeout for Mike Reinhiller, second out of the inning. And it brings up Jeff Schulz. Schulz walked his first time up. Governors 7, Keybirds nothing. But as we've witnessed several times in this tournament, leads that seem insurmountable become nothing. Pitch inside to Jeff Schulz, ball 1. Ball skips away from Wade Smith, walks back and picks it up. Smith got hit on the catching hand last night. He's having trouble hanging on to the ball. Here's the pitch on the way. It's upstairs, ball 1. Count is even 1 ball, 1 strike. Excuse me, did I say 1-1? It's 2-0. Next pitch on the way from Reinhiller is a fastball that skips in the dirt. And the count goes 3-0 to Jeff Schulz. Wade Smith hangs out the sign to Mike Reinhiller. The 3-0 pitch, fastball, the automatic called strike. 3-1 the count to Jeff Schulz. Ryan Hiller ready to go to work. Swings into the windup. And they pitch on the way. A fastball. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count is full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Schulz steps out, now stands back in. Ryan Hiller swings into the windup. The payoff pitch. Fastball missed just low. Ball 4. That's the 4th walk given up by Mike Reinhiller, 6th by Williston pitching. And Tom Horner comes to the plate. He's the 9th batter to appear at the plate this inning for the Governors. Bat boy for the Bismarck Governors runs down, gets the batting glove from Jeff Schulz. Actually, from Wayne Horner. And so Tom Horner stands in. He flied out to throw and right his first time up. Here's Ryan Hiller's pitch on the way. A breaking pitch missed high and away. Ball 1. The Governors have plated 5 here in the top of the 2nd. A grand slam home run, the big blow by Tom Klein. The pitch on the way. A fastball at the knees called strike. Count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Eberts committed a couple of errors behind Mike Reinhiller. Reinhiller committed one himself when he overran the bag. Starting off the inning, here's the pitch. Curveball caught the outside corner, strike 2. Brad Keene led off by grounding over to Jason Owen. Reinhiller running over to cover, ran over the bag. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. A breaking pitch. Hopper right back to Reinhiller. He can't get it. Goes out to Adolph at short. He gobbles it up, throws it on to Jason Owen. And so Horner out 6-3 on the putout. That retires the Governors as they send 9 to the plate. In the top of the 2nd, the Governors come up with 5 runs on but 2 hits. Of course, the big blow being the grand slam home run by Tom Klein. There were a couple of Williston errors, and there was 1 Governor left on base. So at the end of 1.5 the score, the Governors 7, the Keybirds nothing. Is ready to go to work, and for the Keybirds, it'll be Troy Rodbold, Clay Eno, and Mark Kitzenberg. Rodbold stands in. The first pitch on the way, swung on, pop foul over our heads, not a play. Strike 1 the count to Troy Rodbold. In the tournament, Rodbold batting 143. He has an RBI. The only hit he's got is a double. He's walked twice, struck out twice. For the season, Rodbold batting .333. Here's Olson's pitch. Curveball swung on. Loft a little short fly ball out into right field. Going back to second baseman. Jeff Schulz makes the catch in shallow right field. Rodbold is gone. Hopping out to Jeff Schulz. There's 1 away. That brings up Clay Eno. Eno is 4 for 8. He's batting .500 in the tournament. And overall for the season, Clay Eno batting .212. He was down less than 200 a week ago. But he's done some good hitting in the tournament. Here's the pitch to him. A fastball misses high. Ball 1. Mark Kitzenberg waiting on deck. Clay Eno, left-handed batter. Somewhat of a closed stance. Olson into the windup. Pitch on the way. Tails away and outside. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Clay Eno's knocked in a couple of runs. Among his base hits, he has a double. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fastball swung on. Pop foul. Back over the screen and out of play. 2-1 the count. Clay Eno has also walked once. He has struck out once. Troy Olson, right-hander on the mound, leans in to Jeff Olslager for the sign. Olson swings into the windup. The 2-1 pitch on the way. A fastball misses low and away. 3-1. 1 out, bottom of the 2nd inning. 7-0. Governors the lead. A big grand slam homer by Tom Klein. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. A fastball at the letters called strike. Keybirds elected to give Mark Hummel the intentional pass to load him up, to cause a force play at any base, and pitch to Tom Klein, and he unloaded. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on a grounder out towards second. Schultz gobbles it up. Flips it on to Sullivan. Eno is gone. 4-3 on the putout. 2 down. Brings up Mark Kitzenberg. Kitzenberg, no batting average in tournament play. He is 0 for 7. He's walked a couple of times. For the season, Kitzenberg a .244 hitter, as he had 30 hits and 123 trips to the plate. 14 runs batted in. Among his hits, he had 1 double. Here's the pitch to Kitzenberg. Misses outside. Ball 1. Kitzenberg, a little left-handed batter. Straightaway stance. Olson's pitch on the way. Fastball tails away. Misses outside. 2-0. Chris Thone hoping on deck with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd. Olson swings into the windup. The pitch. A fastball sails high. Ball 3 to Mark Kitzenberg. Kitzenberg looks down at Chip Devlin. Here's the pitch on the way. Pass ball on the outside corner, called strike. 3-1 the count to Mark Kitzenberg. Olson, a fast worker. They pitch on the way. A pass ball misses inside. Kitzenberg draws the free pass with 2 outs. In tournament play, that's the 3rd walk gathered up by Mark Kitzenberg. And it brings up the right fielder, Chris Thone. Thone is batting .222 in the tournament. He has 2 hits and 9 trips to the plate. Troy Olson pitching from the stretch with Kitzenberg at first. The pitch to Thone. A grounder out towards Hummel at third. He grabs it, guns it across to Sullivan. Thone is gone. 5-3 on the put-out. That retires the Birds in the bottom of the 2nd inning. So Williston comes up with no runs on no hits. There were no governor errors. The Birds lead 1. To complete the score, Bismarck 7, Willison nothing. Governors to face Mike Reinhiller. To take us through the 3rd and the 4th, here is Dan Keating.
Brad Keene, 0 for 1 in the ballgame, reached on an error on the pitcher, Mike Reinhiller, in the 2nd, came around to score on an RBI single by Brad Raaum. Keene around to bunt and decides not to offer at the pitch. Ball 1. Mike Reinhiller, beginning his 3rd inning of work, came on with nobody out in the 1st. 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on, hit deep to right. Chris Thone going back. Thone still on the run. He can't get to it. The ball bounces off the wall. Keene around 2nd, heading for 3rd. And Keene is going to be in at 3rd. Be an error on the right fielder, Chris Thone. Thone had the ball and then dropped it. And for Willison, that's their 3rd error of the ball game. Bring up the catcher, Jeff Wolschlager. First pitch to him is high for ball 1. Wolschlager got aboard on an error on 2nd baseman Troy Rodvold in the 2nd. A line shot right at Rodvold. He gloved it and then he dropped it. Fastball down low, 2-0 the count to Wolschlager. Wolschlager 0 for 1 in this game, is now 0 for 1 in tournament play. He'd walked in his other plate appearances twice. Pitch is down low, 3-0 the count to Jeff Wolschlager. On the way from Reinhiller, way outside, and walking on 4 straight is Jeff Wolschlager, and here comes Chip Devlin. 5th walk given up by Reinhiller. And they're going to bring in the left fielder, Mark Kitzenberg, will be the new pitcher. So we're going to have a change in pitchers for the Williston Keybirds. We're in the top of the 3rd. Bismarck up runners on the corners. Nobody out. They lead Williston 7-0. Mike Reinhiller goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, 5 runs to this point. None of them earned. He walked 5 and struck out 1. Kitzenberg, left-handed pitcher, to the belt. First man he'll face, leadoff hitter Brad Raaum. Fastball that bounces in front of the plate. Ball 1 to Brad Raaum. For Mark Kitzenberg, his 6th appearance is he's won none, lost 2. Kitzenberg's worked 12 innings, 19 hits, 18 runs, 16 of them earned, ERA of 9.33. In 12 innings, Kitzenberg has walked 16, struck out 7, a couple of wild pitches, and he's hit a man. Swing and a miss at a fastball from Kitzenberg. 1-1 the count to Brad Raaum. Raaum is 1 for 1. He's walked and singled, scored a couple and driven in a run. So he's now 2 for 9 in tournament play. 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, chopper up the middle, gloved by Rodville behind the bag, hands a date off for 1, relay to first, not in time. Raaum aboard on the fielder's choice. Coming in to score on the play is Brad Keene. And it's now 8-0. Bismarck with the lead. Wolschlager forced at 2nd, 4-6 on the force out. And an RBI for Brad Raaum. And he's the runner at first now with 1 out. Kitzenberg will work from the stretch. Owen will hold with Raaum. Troy Olson hitter. He's 0 for 1. He's walked and grounded out. First pitch bounces in the dirt. And not able to come up with the handle is Wade Smith. Down to 2nd is Brad Raaum. Pretty good lead by Raaum out at 2nd. Fastball in for a strike at the knees. 1-1 the count to Troy Olson. Wade Smith asking for time. wild pitch charge to move Brad Raaum ahead. First wild pitch by Mark Kitzenberg. Pitch is swung on, number down to first. Owen can't get to it. It's fielded by Rodvold. He makes the throw. It's not in time. So safe at first base is Troy Olson. And an error will be charged there. Probably on first baseman Jason Owen. Owen was unable to come up with the ball. Runners now at the corners of one out. And that is the fourth error committed by Williston. And the hitter's Mark Hummel. Hummel has walked twice. He scored a run. Hummel in the tournament, 2 for 7. First pitch is down low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Mark Hummel. Hummel's driven in a couple. His 2 hits are both doubles. 8-0, Bismarck with the lead. Kitzenberg's 1-0 pitch on the way is swung on. Roller out to second. Rodvold up with it, drops it, makes the throw to first, not in time. Hummel reaches on an error on the second baseman, Troy Rodvold. Coming in to score is Brad Raaum. Stopping at second base, Troy Olson. 5th error committed by Williston. 3rd in this inning. And the runs in this inning unearned. One out, runners at first and second for Bismarck. They lead 9-0. Kitzenberg's first pitch to Klein swung on and missed for strike 1. Well, time called is head coach Dave Wolf wants to have a little chat with Tom Klein. Klein is 1 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, knocked it around the first inning, delivered a grand slam homer in the second. So he's 1 for 2 with 5 RBIs. Klein now 1 for 6 in the tournament. One strike to count to Tom Klein. Kitzenberg to the belt. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. Shallow fly to right. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Jason Owen up with the ball. Throws it to the infield. And the bases are now loaded for Mike Sullivan. So a bloop single to right for Tom Klein. Going to third, Troy Olson. Down at second, Mark Hummel. One out, bases loaded for the Governors. First baseman Mike Sullivan will stand in. Sullivan's 0 for 1. Sacrifice fly in the first, struck out in the second. He has an RBI. Sullivan now 5 for 10 in tournament play. Nine to nothing. Bismarck with the lead. We're at the top of the 3rd inning. Pitch from Kitzenberg, roller out to short, glove by Adolph, flips to third for Thompson, in time for the force out. Coming in to score on the play is Troy Olson. Make it 10-0 Bismarck. Sullivan aboard on the fielder's choice. Hummel was forced at third. 6-5 on the putout. Adolph to Thompson, second out in the inning. So the Governors now have runners at first and second and 2 out. Klein's the runner at second, Sullivan at first. 8th man to come up in the inning, second baseman Jeff Schulz. He's walked twice. Pitch to Schulz is swung on into right field, a base hit. Fielded out there by the right fielder Thone. Rounding third, coming to the plate is Tom Klein. There won't be a throw. RBI single for Jeff Schulz. It's now 11-0 Bismarck. Klein scores. Ending up on third on the play is Mike Sullivan. Shortstop Tom Horner will stand in. 9th man to come to the plate as the Governors bat around. In the top of the 3rd. 2 out. Runners on the corners. Mike Sullivan, by the way, when he reached on the fielder's choice, an RBI, and also now an RBI for Jeff Schulz. First pitch to Horner's inside for ball 1. something has been Williston's problem all year. When they've gotten beyond Klein and Tim Adolph, they've had problems pitching. 1-0 on the way from Kitzenberg outside. 2-0 the count to Tom Horner. A lot of young arms on the Williston staff after Eno and Adolph. Chance for they just need the game experience. 2-0 pitch from Kitzenberg down low. 3-0 the count. Governors of runners on the corners. 2 gone. Scored 4 here in the top of the third as they lead at 11-0. Bismarck 2 in the first, 5 in the second, and 4 here in the third inning. 3-0 pitch inside, and Tom Horner draws a walk, and that'll load him up. First walk given up by Mark Kitzenberg, 7th by Williston pitching. Eighth by Williston pitching. There's Owen walked 2 and Ryan Hiller walked 5. Pitch on the way, catches the inside corner, strike 1 to Brad Keene. Keene started the inning by lofting a drive to right field that Chris Thone dropped and turned into a 3-base error. Kitzenberg's 0-1 pitch on the way is swung on, hammered into left field for a base hit. Trotting in from third is Mike Sullivan. Coming in behind him is Jeff Schultz. Throw the plate, hit the runner. So 2 more runs score. Going to second on the throw in is Brad Keene. So Keene with the 2-run single. Sullivan scores, Schultz scores, and stopping at third is Tom Horner. Runners at second and third. Now 13-0 Bismarck. Brings up catcher Jeff Walschlager, 11th man to come to the plate this inning for the Bismarck Governors. Another way the book on Reinhiller closed. 2 innings, 2 hits, 6 runs, none of them earned, 5 walks and a strikeout. Pitch bounces in front of the plate, stopped by Wade Smith. 1 ball to count to Walschlager. Bismarck has now scored 6 here in the top of the third. Kitzenberg's 1-0 pitch on the way inside. 2-0 to Walschlager. Walschlager's 0 for 1. He's reached on an error and walked. So he's now 0 for 1 in the tournament. He's walked 3 times. Pitch at the plate is fouled, and that might have caught Wade Smith on that sore thumb of his as he's bent over in pain. Well, this one caught him on the arm. And Wade Smith getting up, and I'm going to say he's all right. He's going to have Harry Wallner check him. Give Wade Smith a couple of practice throws here. It's been a tough tournament behind the plate for Smith. Got a ball on his thumb on this catching hand last night. Now one fouled off on his throwing arm. 2-1 the count to Walschlager. And Wade Smith says he's all right. (13-0). Bismarck the lead, top of the third inning. Horner the runner at third, Keene down at second. 2-1 pitch on the way from Kitzenberg, misses down low. 3-1 the count to Walschlager. Waiting on deck is Brad Raaum. Pitch inside, free pass for Jeff Walschlager. Second walk given up by Mark Kitzenberg. And the base is now loaded for Brad Raaum. Raaum is 1 for 2. He's walked, singled, reached on a fielder's choice. He scored 3 times and knocked in 2. Twelfth man to come to the plate here in the top of the third inning for Bismarck. Swings at the pitch. It'll be into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in as Horner scores. Coming to the plate is Brad Keene, and it's now a 15-0 Bismarck lead. Going to third base on the play was Jeff Wolschlager. Stopping at first, Brad Raaum. Raaum a single, couple of RBIs. 15-0 with 2 outs. Troy Olson, the batter. Olson, the pitcher, is 0 for 2. He's walked, grounded out, and reached out an error on first baseman Jason Owen. And walks have really had the roof fall in now. Pitch bounces in front of the plate, rolls away from Wade Smith. Ball 1, the count to Troy Olson. Olson, left-handed batter. 1-0 pitch from Kitzenberg, in for a strike. Counts even at 1-1 to Troy Olson. All runs this inning unearned, but they count just the same. 1-1 on the way from Kitzenberg. Swung on. Olson a good rip, and he lost his bat. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Troy Olson. Kitzenberg working from the stretch. And holding it first to Brad Raaum. The 1-2 pitch fouled back in the screen. Count still 1-2 to Troy Olson. 15-0. Bismarck with the lead. With 8 runs on 4 hits and 3 Williston errors. Governors have sent 13 batters to the plate in the top of the third. Kitzenberg's 1-2 pitch popped up behind the plate. Coming back, Wade Smith. Smith will take it for the out. Bismarck finally retired for Bismarck in the top of the third. 8 runs on 4 hits, 3 Williston errors, and 2 Governors left on base. 2.5 the score. Bismarck 15, Williston nothing.
Okay, so good day and welcome to this panel discussion. My celebrity guest is Doug McKenzie. Doug, you're expert on the history of pizza.
Yes, I am.
Tell us, just out of curiosity, where did you get this pizza?
Well, I was, of course, I had this pizza delivered.
From where?
Pizza Hut.
Thank you. We're out of time.
And for delivery from your Williston Pizza Hut, just call 572-9000.
Your independent Goodyear Sales and Service Center is Harry's Tire and Auto Service in Williston. A good place to go if you need an oil change, brake work, or just good deals on Goodyear tires. Like the all-season Goodyear Tiempo, $34.95 for the P155 ADR 13 white wall. Take advantage of Harry's oil change filter and lube special, $10.88. An alignment job for $15.95 from Harry's Tire and Auto Service, your independent Goodyear dealer. Remember, it must be right or they'll make it right.
Go to the bottom of the third inning, and for Williston, the 9-1-2 hitters do. Shane Thompson, Mike Reinhiller, and Tim Adolph. As Troy Olson has a very comfortable 15-run cushion to work with. Olson still has a couple of warm-up tosses coming. Shane Thompson, first trip to the plate in the game tonight. In the tournament, he's 2 for 8 at 250 average. He's knocked in 3. That was on a 3-run double against Jamestown on Friday night. And on the season, Thompson batting .213, 27 hits and 127 trips. First pitch to Thompson, swung on and missed for strike 1. Williston's had 2 base runners, a walk to Adolph in the first, a walk to Kitzenberg in the second. Thompson swings for the next pitch, fouls it out of play right side. So Olson's ahead 0-2 to Shane Thompson. The winner of this game goes on to the championship Tuesday night. The loser will play at 7:30 tomorrow evening. Pitch is high, a ball and 2 strikes to Thompson. 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, Minot plays Jamestown in a loser-out game. Winner of that game plays the loser of this game, 7:30 tomorrow night in another loser-out game. . 1-2 pitch on the way to Thompson. Fouled at the plate. Count remains 1-2. Bottom of the third inning, 15-0. Bismarck with the lead over Williston. On deck is Mike Reinhiller. The 1-2 pitch on the way, down low. 2-2 the count to Thompson. Two from Olson. Called strike 3. Thompson caught looking. First strikeout for Troy Olson. One away. We'll go to the top of the order, and Mike Reinhiller. Reinhiller's 0 for 1. Grounded out. Schulz to Sullivan. Second to first back in the first inning. Reinhiller now 5 for 9 in tournament play. 2 RBIs. Couple of home runs. First pitch is inside. Ball 1. Williston entered the game a record of 27-23. Bismarck 32-16. 1-0 pitch on the way. Swung on. Reinhiller goes the opposite way. Coming down the left fielder, Brad Keenan. He makes the catch as he falls down. Reinhiller flies to left. 2 up, 2 down for Williston in the bottom of the third inning. And the batter will be the shortstop, Tim Adolph. Adolph walked in the first inning. Adolph 4 for 8 in the tournament, a .500 average. Now walked a couple of times. On the season, Adolph batting an even .300, 45 for 150. First pitch to Tim Adolph, high, ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on for Williston, bottom of the third inning. 1-0 pitch, misses inside, 2-0 to Adolph. Two-0 pitch inside, 3-0 the count to Tim Adolph. On deck, Jason Owen. Should Adolph get aboard? Olson's 3-0 pitch on the way. It's outside. Adolph for the second time draws a free pass. Third walk given up by Troy Olson. Brings up the first baseman, Jason Owen. Owen's 0 for 1. Flat out deep to left to Brad Keenan in the first inning. So Owen now in the tournament, 4 for 10, a .400 average. He's knocked in 3. Among his 4 hits, a home run. Olson will work from the stretch. Sullivan will hold a fade off at first. Pitch on the way to Owen. Fastball in the outside corner. Strike 1. Pitch is swung on. Pop foul backing out of play. 0-2 the count to Jason Owen. So Olson quickly ahead of Owen. 2 outs. Adolph the runner down at first. Pitch outside. A ball and 2 strikes to count to Jason Owen. Wade Smith waiting on deck, hoping for a chance. Pitch swing and a miss. Owen goes down on strike. Second strikeout for Troy Olson. For Williston in the bottom of the third inning, no runs on no hits. There were no Bismarck errors. 1 Williston runner left on base. We complete the score. Bismarck 15, Williston nothing.
Located inside Buttrey's in Williston.
Top of the fourth inning for the Bismarck Governors. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Mark Hummel, Tom Klein, and Mike Sullivan to face Mark Kitzenberg. Kitzenberg, the third Williston pitcher. Jason Owen started, faced 2 men, got nobody out. Reinhiller worked the next 2. So Kitzenberg has now worked 1 full inning. Hummel is 0 for 1. He's walked twice, reached out an error, scored a run. Intentionally passed back in the second. Pitch bounces up to the plate. Ball 1 to Mark Hummel. Intentionally walked Hummel, and then Tom Klein followed with a grand slam home run back in the second inning. Pitch in the corner for a strike. 1-1 the count to Mark Hummel. 13 of the 15 Bismarck runs are unearned. Pitch misses low. 2-1 the count to Hummel. On deck, Tom Klein. Kitzenberg's 2-1 pitch is swung on. Chopper bounces into right field for a base hit. Hummel makes the turn at first and stays there. Hummel a single to right, hit number 7 for Bismarck. They've also received 9 free passes. So Hummel aboard to start things out for the Governors, top of the 4th inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, Tom Klein. Klein is 2 for 3. 2 runs scored, 5 RBIs, a home run, a single, and reached on a fielder's choice. In the first pitch to Klein from Kitzenberg, misses for ball 1. Wade Smith hangs out the sign for Kitzenberg. 1-0 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, 1-1 the count to Klein. Jason Owen holds with Mark Hummel down at first. The 1-1 pitch misses inside. 2-1 to Klein. Waiting on deck is Mike Sullivan. Four teams left in the tournament: Williston, Bismarck, Minot, and Jamestown. Pitch is swung on, hit deep to left, going back. Kleino and makes the catch in front of the clubhouse. Klein gave it a ride to left, but Kleino catches up with it. First out in the inning. Hitter will be the first baseman, Mike Sullivan. Sullivan is 0 for 2. Sacrifice fly, struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. 0 for 2 with a couple of RBIs and a run scored. Sullivan now 5 for 11 in the tournament with 7 RBIs. Fastball in, strike 1 to Mike Sullivan. 1 on, 1 out. Runner at first is Mark Hummel. Kitzenberg to the belt. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count to Sullivan. Two strikes to Mike Sullivan. Kitzenberg's 0-2 pitch on the way high. 1-2 the count to Sullivan. On deck, Jeff Schultz. Top of the 4th inning. Bismarck delayed 15-0. 1-2 pitch swung on, popped up to the infield. Shortstop Tim Adolph calling for it behind the bag at second and grabs it for the out. So Sullivan pops out to Tim Adolph, 2 away. Picks up the number 6 hitter, second baseman Jeff Schultz. Schultz is 1 for 1. He's walked twice and singled. He's knocked in a run and scored a run. Jeff Schultz now 3 for 8 in the tournament. Pitch on the way to Schultz. Pop fly, left field, going back. Shortstop Tim Adolph, and Adolph will take it in shallow left for the out. So for the first time in the contest, Bismarck goes down upon a run for Bismarck in the top of the 4th. No runs on 1 hit, no Williston errors, 1 Governor runner left on base. 3.5 to score. Bismarck 15. Williston in the middle of the order do 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Wade Smith, Troy Ronvold, and Clay Eno. First pitch to Smith outside, ball 1. Smith is 0 for 1. Fouled out to the catcher, Jeff Wohlschlager, in the first inning. Next pitch to Smith is swung on, a roller out towards second. Gloved by Schultz, gobbles it up, fires over to Sullivan for the out. Smith gone 4-3. Schultz to Sullivan, 1 up, 1 down for Williston in the 4th. Wade Smith now 1 for 7 in the tournament. Batter will be the second baseman, Troy Ronvold. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to second baseman Jeff Schultz in the second. So Ronvold's now 1 for 8 in tournament play. Olson's first pitch to Ronvold. Fastball in the outside corner. Strike 1. A 1 pitch on the way. Slow breaking ball upstairs. Counts even 1-1 to Ronvold. 1 out, nobody on for Williston. Bottom of the 4th inning, 15-0 Bismarck. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Rodvold had a good rip, didn't get it. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Clay Eno's the on-deck hitter. The 1-2 from Olson down low, count even at 2-2. Willison's had 3 base runners on 3 walks. Tim Adolph twice, Mark Kitzenberg once. The 2-2 pitch misses inside. Full count for Troy Rodvold. 3-2 from Troy Olson. Misses inside. Rodvold draws the free pass. Fourth walk given up by Olson. Rodvold at first with one out. Left fielder Klein will stand in. Eno at one time or the other tonight's been in all three outfield positions. Began in right, went to center, and is now in left. He's 0 for 1, grounded out in the first, now 4 for 9 in tournament play. Eno swings the first pitch, hits a high fly to right. Going back is Tom Klein, and Klein, about 5 feet in front of the fence, makes the catch. So Eno gave it a good ride to right. Tom Klein there to take it. 2 away. Pitcher Mark Kitzenberg will be the hitter. Kitzenberg walked in the second inning, so he's still 0 for 7 in tournament play. It's been aboard on 3 walks, so throughout the tournament. Pitch to Kitzenberg, swing and a miss, strike 1. 2 outs. Rodvold, the runner, down at first. Sullivan holds with him. 0-1 pitch is outside. Counts even at 1-1 to Kitzenberg. 1-1 pitch way inside. 2-1 to Kitzenberg. It's stopped by Jeff Wolschlager. Williston is yet to get a runner to second base. Olson's 2-1 pitch. Foul over towards Bismarck dugout. Counts even at 2-2 to Kitzenberg. On deck, Chris Thone. Should Kitzenberg get aboard? First game today, Minot eliminated Fargo 13-10. 2-2 pitch outside, full count to Kitzenberg. Then Jamestown defeated West Fargo 14-5. And Bismarck leading Williston bottom of the fourth 15-0. Rodvold off the pitch and misses inside, ball 4. Kitzenberg draws the walk. 5th walk given up by Troy Olson. Now it's twice of Kitzenberg's walk. So Williston gets their first runner as far as second base. Troy Rodvold is that person. With 2 outs, left fielder Chris Thone will stand in. Thone's 0 for 1, grounded out in the second inning. So Thone now 2 for 10 in the tournament. Two outs, runners at first and second. Rodvold, the runner, down at second. Kitzenberg at first. First pitch to Chris Thone is swung on into right field, a base hit. First Williston hit of the game. Rodvold around third. They're going to hold him up. Chip Devlin holds up the stop sign, and Williston has the bases loaded. So Chris Thone with the first hit of the contest for Williston. Bases loaded with 2 outs. The batter, the number 9 hitter, Shane Thompson. Rodvold, the runner, at third. Kitzenberg down at second. Thone aboard at first. Olson held Williston hitless for 3 2/3 innings. They have 1 hit, and he's walked 5. Thompson's 0 for 1, was called out on strikes. Thinks the first pitch, soft line drive, fouled on the first base line. 1 strike to count to Thompson. The closest Williston has came to a scoring threat is right here. Thompson 0 for 1 tonight is now 2 for 9 in tournament play. The 0-1 pitch on the way is swung on, lifted in the air, right field. Going back to first baseman Mike Sullivan, and second baseman Jeff Schulz makes the catch in foul territory to retire Shane Thompson. For Williston in the bottom of the fourth inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no Bismarck errors, and 3 Williston runners left on base. 4 complete. The score, Bismarck 15, Williston nothing. So we go to the top of the 5th inning, and for Bismarck, bottom third of the order do Tom Horner, Brad Keene, and Jeff Wolschlager. And to take us through the 5th and the 6th innings, 15-0, Bismarck with the lead. Again, here's Lee Halvorson.
All right, hi again. Good evening, everybody. Leading it off, Tom Horner for the Bismarck Governors against Kitzenberg. The first pitch, Horner swung on. He lofts a fly ball out towards center field. Ryan Hiller is coming on, and he makes the catch. So Tom Horner flies out to Ryan Hiller in center field. There's 1 away. And that brings up Brad Keene, the left fielder, with 1 down. Keene tonight has scored 3 times. He's knocked in a couple of runs. He is 1 for 3, been aboard on an error twice and singled. Keene stands in. Kitzenberg leans for the sign. The little left-hander kicks and delivers. A fastball misses inside. Ball 1. Bismarck has 15 runs on 7 hits. 13 unearned runs in the game. Here's the pitch swung on a line. Shot center field. Base hit off the bat of Brad Keene. Brad Keene is aboard with his 2nd consecutive hit. Williston has no runs on just 1 hit in the ball game. That hit came in the last inning, a single by Chris Thone. Bismarck has committed no errors. Williston guilty of 5 errors in the game. So Jeff Wolfslager stands in. Wolfslager tonight safe on an error, walked twice. There's 1 out. Brad Keene is at first. Here's the pitch to Wolfslager. Change-up, strike called. Strike 1 the count to Jeff Wolfslager with 1 out. 15-0. Bismarck leading Williston. Kitzenberg leans in for the sign from Smith. The little left-hander from the belt. The pitch to Wolfslager. Swung on. Fly ball, center field. Back going Reinhiller. Has it measured. Makes the catch. Wolfslager's gone as he flies out to Reinhiller in center field. There's 2 down. That brings up the leadoff hitter, Brad Raaum. Raaum has walked. He is singled. Safe on a fielder's choice. Singled. Raaum has knocked in 4 runs tonight. Brad Raaum has also scored 3 times. Kitzenberg on in relief of Reinhiller, who relieved Jason Owen. Owen faced the first 2 batters of the ball game, walked them. Here's Kitzenberg's pitch to Raaum, and the fastball missed on the inside. Ball 1 the count to Brad Raaum. He'll be followed by Troy Olson. Last week in Mandan in the title of the West Division, Bismarck defeated Williston 18-4. Here's the pitch on the way. A fastball is upstairs, 2-0. 10-run rule is in effect after 7 innings. Last week in Mandan, the title game, it had to go 9. 2-0 the count to Brad Raaum. Kitzenberg from the belt. They pitch on the way. A fastball swung on, popped up left side. Back going the third baseman, Shane Thompson. He waves everybody off and makes the catch. So Raaum is gone as he pops out to Shane Thompson at third. That retires the Governors. They go down quietly in the top of the 5th inning. No runs on a hit. There were no Williston errors. And Bismarck leaves 1. At the end of 4 1/2, the score, Bismarck 15, Williston Keybirds. It'll be the top of the order. Mike Reinhiller, Tim Adolph, and Jason Owen. Reinhiller 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out and flied out. As Troy Olson breezing along, he had a big cushion right off the bat. Reinhiller stands in. The pitch to him from Olson. A fastball sails away. Ball 1. Tim Adolph, the on-deck hitter, and then he'll be followed by Jason Owen. Olson's pitch to Reinhiller. A fastball misses high and away, 2-0. Keybirds had a threat going in the last inning. They had the bases loaded, but they couldn't get a run across. Here's the pitch on the way to Reinhiller. Caught the inside corner, strike called. Last inning, Smith grounded out. Rodbold walked. Eno flied out. Kitzenberg walked. Thone singled, and then Thompson popped up. So the Birds left the bases loaded, and Williston is stranded 6. That's the nearest thing to a threat that Williston has had going in this game. We're going to get some action down in the Bismarck bullpen, I believe. But Scott Woodman, see, there's a pop-up out over third. It drops in. It'll be a base hit off the bat of Mike Reinhiller. One of those little flares just over the head of Mark Hummel at third. He couldn't get up high enough, and it dropped right on the edge of the infield, or right at the edge of the outfield grass. So Mike Reinhiller aboard with his first hit of the evening, and that is the second hit for the Keybirds. Reinhiller has 1. Chris Thone has 1. Woodmansey starting to heat up a little bit down on the Bismarck bullpen now. As Troy Olson will pitch from the stretch to Tim Adolph. The pitch on the way. A fastball misses away. Ball 1. Tim Adolph has been up twice. He's walked twice. He's been stranded at first each time. Adolph, right-handed batter. The pitch on the way. Fastball. He had an Ocean held up. It's a cold strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Now the fans getting in the chant. One side says tastes great. The other side says less filling. The pitch is inside. It's 2-1. And here comes Dave Wolf out of the dugout on the run. He's going to have a talk with Troy Olson. So a break in the action 2-1 the count to Tim Adolph. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Let's pause for 30 seconds.
7.9% financing, too.
Next pitch to Tim Adolph. Called strike at the knees, so the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Troy Olson leans in for the sign from Jeff Wohlschlager. Olson from the belt. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Adolph goes down swinging. And for Troy Olson, that is his third strikeout of the game. There's 1 down. He struck out 2 back in the 3rd inning, so 3 strikeouts now for Troy Olson. That brings up Jason Owen. Here's the pitch to Jason Owen, a fastball. He watches it into the catcher's mitt. It's down low, ball 1. Owen looks down at Chip Devlin, stands back in. Edging off first is Reinhiller. Olson's pitch to Jason Owen, a fastball missed inside, 2-0. Jason Owen, the starting pitcher, faced the first 2 batters, walked them. He gave way to Reinhiller, who gave way to Mark Kitzenberg. Here's the pitch to Jason Owen, a fastball. He had a rip, strike 1. 2-1 the count. Jason Owen with 8 home runs this year. He doesn't have that big, booming power hitter swing. It's a short, compact swing, much like the Steve Garvey, but he has very strong, quick wrists. That's where he generates the power. Here's the pitch, swung on, a grounder to Hummel at third. He gobbles it up, goes to Schulz for 1. The relay to first, double play. Around the horn, double play, 5-4-3 to double up Jason Owen. That goes Hummel to Schulz to Sullivan. And the Birds are retired in the bottom of the 5th inning. For the Birds, they go down quietly. 3 up and 3 down. There was 1 hit. There was nobody left. 5 complete the score. The Governor's 15. The Keybirds is 0 when he hit that grand slam homer. Since then, it's been all Bismarck. Kitzenberg will face Troy Olson. Left-hander against left-hander. Kitzenberg into the windup. The pitch swung on. Look out over our heads and out of play. Little gun shy up in the press box here after what happened yesterday. 1 hit right on the post here, and the other one rattled around inside the press box. Dan Keating banged his nose into the wall trying to get out of the way of it, but he's okay. Here's the 1-strike pitch on the way. Swung on, a high drive, right field, coming on his phone, and he's there and makes the catch. So Troy Olson is gone as he flies out to Chris Thone and right. There's 1 down. That brings up Mark Hummel. Hummel has been swinging the good stick all year for the Governors, but he's been kind of quiet here in the state tournament. Tonight, Mark Hummel has walked twice. He was safe on an error, and he singled. One of those walks, an intentional walk to get to Klein, and he unloaded. Here's the pitch to Hummel. Swung on, fly ball, center field, and Reinhiller got a late start on it. It'll drop in for a base hit. Eno can't come up with it. Hummel going all the way to second. The throw down, not in time. So Hummel goes into second base with a bloop double. Mark Hummel's second hit to the ball game, singled his last time up. And for Mark Hummel in tournament competition, that is his 3rd double of the tournament. Mark Hummel, surprisingly, has knocked in only 2 runs. So Tom Klein stands in. Klein has hit into a fielder's choice, homered and singled, flied out. The pitch to him, a grounder up the middle out to Rodvold. He gobbles it up, flips it on to Jason Owen at first. Falling down as he crosses the bag is Tom Klein. He went nose first in the dirt. Klein just laying there. He's shaken up a bit on the play. He stumbled over the bag and went head first into the dirt behind first base. Tom Klein has gone 4-3. Moving to 3rd on the play is Mark Hummel. There are 2 down. Time called as Tom Klein, very slow in getting up, fell right on his stomach, probably knocked the wind out of him. But he's hustling back to the dugout, shaking his head in a negative way, says, "What did I do?" Dave Wolf meets him between the 3rd base bag and home plate. Says, "You okay?" Tom Klein says, "Leave me in, coach." So that brings up Mike Sullivan. Sullivan tonight flied out, struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, popped up. He's been quiet. Here's the pitch to him, swung on, pops it up right side. Jason Owen, foul territory. Behind the bag at first, he's there and makes the catch, and Sullivan is gone. So the Governors go quietly in the top of the 6th inning. No runs on a hit. Mark Hummel stranded at 3rd. There were no errors. So at the end of 5 1/2, the score, the Governors 15, the Keybirds nothing. Smith and then Troy Rodvold and Clay Eno against Troy Olson as Scott Woodmansee continues to heat up down in the Bismarck bullpen. Wade Smith will lead it off. Smith tonight is 0 for 2, popped up, grounded out. Smith has taken a beating in this tournament. Got hit on the thumb last night, the top hand in the bat, the left hand. Tonight he took a foul tip in the right arm, right about where the bicep is. So Smith has been battered around. Here's the first pitch to Wade Smith. Pitch is down low, ball 1. Wade Smith in tournament play came into this game 1 for 5. Had a home run. Next pitch is down low, ball 2. Smith, left-handed batting catcher. Olson into the windup, and the pitch on the way, a fastball, misses low. So the count goes 3-0 to Wade Smith. Troy Rodbold on deck to be followed by Clay Eno. Outfield playing Smith, pulled around towards the right. Here's the 3-0 pitch, missed high and away, ball 4. Wade Smith is aboard. Just another one of the many walks received by Wade Smith this year. That's the 6th given up by Olson. For Wade Smith, his 51st walk of the campaign. And, of course, as we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, that's rewritten the record books. Troy Rodbold stands in. The pitch. Well, he pitches high and away. Her pitch caught the outside corner. Strike called. Here's the next pitch to Rodbold. Swung on. A number on the infield. Here's the first baseman. Sullivan has it. Flips it on to Olson covering the bag, but Wade Smith back in time. Rodbold pops out to Sullivan at first. And a defensive change for the Governors. Chad Boekes is now in left field, and Brad Keene has moved over to right field. Tom Klein is out of the ball game. So that brings up Clay Eno. Here's the pitch to Clay Eno. Look out, he dances away from an inside pitch. Going down to second base is Wade Smith. So that'll be a wild pitch charged to Troy Olson. And that's the first wild pitch served up by Olson tonight. Ball 1 the count to Clay Eno. Mark Kitzenberg, the on-deck hitter. Troy Olson pitching from the stretch now with Wade Smith down at first. Olson lanes in for the side. The pitch on the way to Clay Eno, misses high and away. 2-0 the count to Clay Eno. Keybird's closest thing to a threat was bases loaded with 2 outs in the last inning. They did not punch anyone across. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Clay Eno. Swung on, line shot, laid out at second or shortstop. He dives to the bag and they double off Wade Smith. So a great play at short by Tom Horner, ranging behind the bag to grab the line drive off the bat of Clay Eno. And then Horner scrambling to second, falling down, touches the bag, and they double up Wade Smith. So that retires the Keybirds as Klein lines into a double play to the shortstop, Tom Horner. The Birds in the bottom of the 6th, no runs on, no hits. There were no Bismarck errors, and the Birds leave no one. 6 complete. Governors 15. Keybirds nothing. For B for the Governors, Jeff Schultz, Tom Horner, and Brad Keene, the scheduled hitters. Here's something interesting, Dan. To this point, through the last 4 games these 2 teams have played, the Governors have outscored the Keybirds 53-4.
Jeff Schultz will stand in. Kitzenberg's first pitch to Schultz on the outside corner for strike 1. Jeff Schultz tonight's 1 for 2. He's walked twice, singled, and popped out. He scored a run and knocked one in. The 0-1 pitch misses inside, 1-1. Wasn't there a didn't they play them twice in the Western Division?
The last
Saturday, yeah, it was about 6-5 game or something, wasn't it?
No.
Swing and a miss at the next pitch. Would be first loss for Williston in the Western Division. These 2 are unbeaten.
Yeah, you're right.
Back and beat Minot.
You're right.
Well, that'd still be about 60-11 then. Pitch bounces in the dirt, counts even at 2-2 to Schultz. Two and 2 to Jeff Schultz. Kitzenberg into the windup, 2-2 pitch on the way, foul at the plate, count even at 2-2 still. On deck's Tom Horner. 2-2 pitch on the way. Roller out to short. Glove by Adolph. Fires it across to Owen in time for the out. Schultz gone short to first. One up, one down in the top of the seventh for the Governors. Shortstop Tom Horner will be the batter, but he's going to have a pinch hitter for him. Steve Thompson, I believe, will be the pinch hitter. Steve Thompson will bat for Tom Horner. And for Steve Thompson, he's appeared before as a pinch hitter. First pitch from Kitzenberg is inside, ball one. Steve Thompson is 0 for 1 in the tournament, and Thompson 286 average on the season. Kitzenberg's 1-0 pitch on the way, fouled back in the screen, count even at 1-1. One and one the count to Steve Thompson. One out, nobody on. Kitzenberg's 1-1 pitch. Fastball in for a strike.
That game you were talking about last week in the Western Division, it was 6-3.
Okay. Into the windup is Kitzenberg. Pitch fouled at the plate, 1-2 the count. Mark Kitzenberg really has not pitched that bad since he came on in the third. With little support defensively, he probably would have got out of the third inning in not such bad shape. Since then, he has pitched pretty, really decent ball for the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and here in the early part of the seventh inning. 13 unearned runs for the Governors tonight. Kitzenberg's 1-2 pitch, fastball again, fouled off at the plate. Still 1-2 to Thompson. On deck, Brad Keene.
So that makes the last 5 meetings, including this game where it stands right now. Governors with 59 runs, Williston with 7. Matchups between these two teams.
Next pitch, change up upstairs. 2-2 the count. Was it a couple 10-0 games in the regular season?
Here.
Close them out here.
The games down in Bismarck were good games.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch from Kitzenberg. Popped up. Foul territory. First base side. Nobody will get to it. Jason Owen, Wade Smith, and Mark Kitzenberg all chasing it. Bounced off the wall by the Williston dugout.
Steve Famias
will go in defensively at second base next inning for Bismarck. And then go into shortstop will be Jeff Schultz. Two and two the count to Thompson. Pitch on the way from Kitzenberg. Fouled again back in the screen. Count even at 2-2. Williston, if they do not come up with 6 in the bottom of the seventh inning, this game will be over on the 10-run rule as it stands now. Pitch is swung on, roller to third, glove by Thompson, fires it across to Owen in time for the out. Thompson, Steve Thompson, gone Shane Thompson to Jason Owen. 2 away for Bismarck. That brings up the right fielder, Brad Keene. Brad Keene is 2 for 4. He scored 3, knocked in a couple, been aboard 3 times tonight, reached twice on an error and a couple of singles. Keene in the tournament now 2 for 8. Kitzenberg's first pitch down low, ball 1. Next pitch to Keene, swung on and missed. 1-1 the count to Brad Keene. Two outs, nobody on for Bismarck. Top of the 7th inning. Next pitch, Tapper in front of the plate. Wade Smith out, fields it, fires it down to Owen for the out. So Brad Keene retired. Wade Smith, Jason Owen, 2-3 on the putout. In the top of the 7th inning, Bismarck goes down in order, 1-2-3. That's the first time that's happened in the ball game. 6.5, 7th inning stretch time. The score: Bismarck 15, Williston nothing. The 7th inning for Williston. Bottom third of the order do Mark Kitzenberg, Chris Thone, and Shane Thompson. Steve Famias in at second base defensively for the Governors. Jeff Schultz will move over to third, or to short. Is Horner now out of the game. Mark Kitzenberg, the batter, he's been up twice, drawn a couple of walks, so officially has not been to the plate. First pitch to him, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Next pitch is in for a strike. 0-2 the count to Mark Kitzenberg. Olson into the lineup. The 0-2 pitch is fouled, back and out of play. Count still 2 strikes to Mark Kitzenberg. Kitzenberg, Thone, and Thompson for Williston in the bottom of the 7th. Let a pitch is swung on, lofted down the left field line and out of play. Still 2 strikes to Kitzenberg. Williston no runs on 2 hits. 5 errors. Governor's 15 runs on 9 hits. And they've committed no errors. The 0-2 pitch again fouled, back and out of play. Governor's now defense for the outfield left to right. It's Chad Boekes, Brad Raaum, and Brad Keene. The 0-2 pitch swung on into left field for a base hit. So the Keybirds at their 3rd hit of the contest. Kitzenberg starts off the 7th with a single to left. He goes the opposite way. Rest of the defense for the Governors: Mike Sullivan at first, Steve Famias at second, Mark Hummel at third, Jeff Schulz at short, Jeff Wolschlager behind the plate, Troy Olson on the mound. Chris Thone is 1 for 2. He's singled and grounded out. Thone is now 3 for 11 in the tournament. Kitzenberg at first. Sullivan will hold with him. Pitch to Thone, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Olson to the belt. 0-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, a line drive to the shortstop, Schulz, and he won't have a relay as Kitzenberg's back in. Keybirds have hit about 4 or 5 line drives right on the nose tonight, but the Bismarck defense has come up with the plays. 1 gone. It brings up the number 9 hitter, 3rd baseman Shane Thompson. He's 0 for 2. He was struck out, caught looking in the 3rd, and popped out to the second baseman, then second baseman Jeff Schulz, in foul territory in the 4th. Thompson 0 for 2 tonight, 2 for 10 in the tournament. Pitch to Thompson is outside, ball 1. Pitch in for a strike. 1-1 the count to Thompson. Now Sullivan not holding with the runner. With 1 out, and the Governors up by 15. The 1-1 pitch down low. 2-1 the count, because normally when you're trailing by 15, you don't start stealing bases. The 2-1 pitch from Troy Olson, lifted foul and out of play. Picked off a car in the parking lot. Counts even at 2-2 to Shane Thompson. 1 out. Kitzenberg, the runner at first. Bottom of the 7th. Bismarck delayed 15-0. 2-2 pitch on the way from Olson. Down low. Bounces away from catcher Jeff Wolschlager, but not far enough for Kitzenberg to advance. So it's now a full count to Shane Thompson. The on-deck hitter is Mike Reinhiller. The 3-2 pitch on the way from Olson. Swung on. Roller out to short. Schultz to Famias, over to first baseman Mike Sullivan for the double play, and that'll end the ball game. A 6-4-3 double play retires Williston in the bottom of the 7th. The game will be shortened to 7 due to the 10-run rule. 3rd double play in the ball game for Bismarck, and they've came in the last 3 innings, 5th, 6th, and 7th. For Williston in the bottom of the 7th, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, no runners left. 15-0. Bismarck with the win over Williston. Lee and I will be back with the recap in 2 minutes.